Weather conditions, the high low 60.
The following on therapy with Larry's Glass. Watch today. Here's the voice of the dogs, Paxton Gordon. Here's the voice of the dogs, Paxton Gordon.
We're able to get on Grand Discoverers in the
Monday. It looked like we were going to be playing Omaha Burke, and then after Monday, it looked like we were going to be playing Omaha Burke, and then after was it North? And they played them in score, and you're leading your rebound.
Of course, unfortunately, in the latter half of the second half, almost feel like, oh, here comes the wheels falling off the wagon. But I just said that Gehring game, really prime example of how evolved this Dogs team has become. You know, we all knew how the early season went, where they heavily relied on Easton Jones to really not only set the offense up, but drive play. And ever since that Christmas break to, and maybe even really, before the Western Conference tournament, it seems like the Dogs have really turned this season around, even though record-wise it doesn't look that way. Pace of play and just play in general looks so much better than it did early on.
Yeah, a lot cleaner, a lot more experience. I'm going to take off my announcer hat now.
And when they played in the Western Conference tournament, it was funny to see because Scottsbluff can hit their threes. Yeah. Gehring is a step below. They can, but they're just not to that level.
They tried to play that style of game, and
they are ready to rise open. Right. I say just
not more, but then they have three freshmen that get a lot of minutes as well. Talented freshmen. They don't play like talented freshmen. They don't play like.
We talked about this might be the best possibly drawn areas lineup. Find momentum cuts. It's going to be a good maybe start
best
season even with her squad. So we might start best season even with her squad. So we might not see too much of Carter Dishman in very athletic, very fast. So I wouldn't be shocked pressed. But that's final to that. NorthPlattePost.com.
Next, new Toyota or pre-owned vehicle. Premier Toyota at PremierAutoplex.com, just south of I-80, North Platte.
After I drop the kids off, I have to run across town for a meeting, hit the gym during lunch. Jake has soccer tonight, and Emily has gymnastics. Oh, did I turn on the crock pot this morning?
With a never-ending to-do list, it's easy to forget something important, like setting up a life insurance plan with Shelter Insurance. Your local Shelter agent can show you how to create a safety net for your family. Shelter Life Insurance Company, Columbia, Missouri.
See me, Pete Foltz, at 501 South Jeffers for a free insurance review.
Puro Clean of North Platte delivers fast water, mold, and fire damage restoration services to the North Platte area. Puro Clean knows how challenging those times can be to you and to your family. Their Nebraska-based experts have a winning, reliable combination of training and equipment partnerships. Local, fast service in the North Platte area. Their average on-site time is 60 minutes, and they'll coordinate with your local insurance provider. Give Puro Clean a call now at 1-800-775-7876 and schedule a visit from a member of the team at Puro Clean in North Platte.
The Dogs play here on FM 98.1 and 1410 AM KWOQ AM North Platte. Enjoy great food from Merrick's Ranch House. There's 10% off online ordering, and Merrick's offers a 10% veteran and military discount. Dine in, order online at merricksnp.com, use DoorDash, or call 532-8200 for carryout.
North Platte Post Sports.
Welcome back, everybody, here to Columbus with Eli by the freshman Jackson Vasinchek, and now up the court once again comes fresh rush hour. He'll fire the miss. Think off of Jake Kincaid.
Off of
Discoverers and Cade, who check now as they rebound on our wicked fast scoreboard early in this first quarter. Dribble to the left to Kincaid. Blocked from behind.
Discovers.
Little flash from Melissa.
Right.
Anderson crosses, dribble up to Carter Dishman. Hop steps in some trouble, and a foul is going to be stolen away by Jared Smeltzer. That's going to go against Rice. So a substitution for the Discoverers. I want to say it, Jeff Smeltzer. That's the third three of this first quarter.
Quite on the same
football dealt. By Broman. Broman cross courts it to Smeltzer. Now we'll pull the trigger in the corner. Bang! Caleb Odell. And now we have a tie ball game. 10-10 with 2. Team to Messersmith.
On a fast break on that one.
That was a good 12 on our wicked fast scoreboard for North Platte High School. Messersmith. Now to Barnett. Back to Messersmith. Top of the three-point line with Alonzo. It was just basically Messersmith passes it and ball on the perimeter. 10 on our wicked fast scoreboard with still has some time. Gets it down low to Johnny Ranke. Ranke shot no good.
There you go.
Foul. That is now 9 seconds.
Part of the rim.
as he sets Smith up the court. On the screen it goes. Now around the three for just a little off the mark. Dogs finish the first quarter, though, trailing by 2 to the Columbus end. The Discoverers 18-16. We come back. FM 98.1 and AM 1410.
NoService.com. That's hands up Heartland.
Tapping drinks and to our action never stops.
District boy Kevin again for today's game premiere. Toyota. That's a turnout. And take a test drive today of all their second leads. And you wouldn't tell it by how Perimeter gets the rebound. His first by Broman. Torres. Tough for Eli Broman. Didn't really have anywhere else. On the Dogs' first foul of this second. Now trying to cross. And because of that was a bit sound. He just put a little with Kincaid back. Was that a foul against Caleb Dell? And
the problem with that's to Nelson out there for the 3-point attempt. So Dogs stop that dribble drive.
As Nelson they'll miss the second. We know how dangerous shoot hits all three, and the Knights could be the lineup we saved by Fresher. Dogs foul. Get fast up by Ryder Bach. Agreeing a little bit with timeout. I agree. I don't really was maybe where he interesting call. That's the first for Kincaid and the fourth team foul for North Platte High School here in this second quarter. They are now just one foul away from putting the Discoverers in the bonus.
Yeah, you don't need that. Yeah.
Almost an and one. One South Dewey. Sweet service. No matter what type of game, faster to 19 after damn Ewing. Throw all the way up to shoot for the first second, and the Dogs now can't miss the second. He's 1 for 2 and
make the Discoverer score in a half-court offense.
Fresh out, or at least cover the corners. And they're I think the Dogs went back to their. I don't want to be the bear bad news. It's left a fortifying group. Check out Kevin McGann and the 5:14 left to go here in this second quarter. Now, though, coming from Smith. Couple of bad bounces, though. Can't really put the Dogs as Bozacek for 3 into the lane. But more importantly, that sends some of the actually for
and missed open
because Kincaid gets his hands on it. 28-20 on our wicked fast scoreboard as Logan Hayes trying to push tempo with the Discoverers shooting, trying those cross-court passes to break this dog zone in, and that's going to be a foul against.
Stepped on
away. Wow. T2 Smith. Shooting right with your box. Ryder Bach then quick put back into a cutting Luke Messersmith. We talk about how Caleb Odell is going to be that X factor from beyond the arc. How about 5 threes in this first, and a foul is going to be called. Brown trailing at 1 point. Point in the post for Columbus. 2:31 on our wicket back. Wait, Ewing stops. Back comes Zach Nelson for Connor Colwitt as Kate to the free throw line goes. He's got 5 seconds left to go. Double teamed very deep in the corner and quickly tried to chuck the ball to Eli Broman.
Yeah, I think you want to.
As 3 points, you got to be pretty point shooting Tixman for Easton Jones because he can quickly come in. The halftime show here at
your weekend warrior, youth, or professional sporting events and safely as possible.
On our big spun.
Platte, 424.
Starting something new can be challenging. At Mid-Plains Community College, a skill that can take your professional career to the next level. Or you're looking to change to the next level. Or you're looking to change your life through our educational offerings. You can be CC.
One ends me Paxton. Omaha's get there at the top. Trail by 3 on. Positive outlook. They too loose with it, but they just don't have that as you were hoping for. But they don't.
Great effort here in the first half.
Need your because in the second half because yes, and then Johnny Ranke when he comes in. So there's a plenty of opportunities, and I think that nicely transition us into our Owls Lock and Save keys to the second half. Jeff Smeltzer talked about, of course. Don't get too over-reliant from the arc. Take me through what you guys got going on that you think the Dogs need to take advantage of in this second half to come away with their third victory this season.
Rebound. Way too many offensive rebounds for the Discoverers. You're in that zone. I watched Columbus will shoot that 3-pointer. The Dogs crash the boards, but they're not getting a body on anybody.
Yes.
And then that long rebound is just going over their head. Make sure you block somebody out. Just make sure you keep somebody from getting the ball. You'll get your share of rebounds.
It's not like they're not in that, they're not in bad position. I see a lot of guys crashing the glass, but the problem is they're just missing the most important part of why you crash the glass, and that's just putting a body on a body and getting somebody and boxing somebody out.
Yeah, and it's just basketball IQ. You got to know that a 3-point miss is going to, carry them off farther than a shot in the paint.
Yes.
So,
Excuse me, I didn't mean to cut you off there, but offensively, what else do you think North Platte needs to do now? Because we talked about their threes have been pretty hot, but can't rely overly on it too much.
8 turnovers in the first half, cut down on the turnovers. Let's see.
It's
he's coming to
yet to shoot free throws today.
He's coming to
yet to shoot free throws today, and he will hit his first one. As Bach, 1 for 1, he's got 1 point, and it's now a 3-point lead for Columbus. They're discover a player to go
for the dogs. 2
pass just a little too far. Barrels in. Roman time about in favor of Columbus as the Dogs got it to Carter Dishman, and he backed down. Gavin Ant gets the ball back from that strong rebound in the charts. Down just one. It's blocked, but now the Dogs will have an inbounds underneath the intercepted by Quinn Freshour. Quinn Freshour to the hands of as there goes Ryder Bozacek, guarded by Caleb O'Dine. Drives into the worst case scenario. Stay hot. No. Kincaid goes in as Kincaid gets to get to Nelson in the corner. Fresh out. Roman, the other blocked by the as back to
on the breaks, get run over.
Well, unfortunately, that's going to man. It was only a 2-point lead for Columbus not too long ago, and it's up to talk about the the pull the 6 get up. Platte hiding back in comes Jake Kincaid. The game has Freshour. Now 3 no good. Call a foul. That goes, I believe, against Gavin Anderson as Jake Kincaid and Alonzo tore the mark. Corner to Vozacek. Blake Barnett in favor of Columbus and the Discoverers. Dunn is off of their
an offensive rebound off of a free throw.
2 times a free.
Your opponent
third quarter. Take what the Dogs need. No good. Rebounded. Getting themselves in the foot. Barnett now he just hits the shot. As that pass on our wicked fast scoreboard, and Jeff Smeltzer again.
26 is Roman.
Right there is Eli Bro. As now open, doesn't get trapped, tries to pass it, turn points, and that's small avoids getting down. It's just in. I mean, it is so tough with Quinn down. It's just in. I mean, it is so tough with Quinn. That's rather smart and charging for it. It can meet paint decide putting their results, and they'll reset the off the rebound, and he'll now push tempo up to Logan Hayes. Offense is 53 and 4 minutes. It went behind, but Odell, Broman, and Carter Press from the young a nice end going
be around.
That's what you always forget, of course, when that was just a and what is that and that probably
slam dunk
snap as Jake Kincaid looks to check
to get
these stuff for third jump ball underneath the basket from Haggard as linearly through the year.
Yeah.
Quentin Gustaf's trouble trying to kick it back out. And the Dush trying to drive on Simmons. Great. And the free throw line goes Thomas Adabo for his first 2. Baseball season or baseball. Fortunately,
sitting together when they went up.
Great gentleman. It was the strongest vocal leader for guide this team through some of its treacherous. He kept the team not only that talent on those last 2 teams were at some point, going to move on to their next point of life. So it's going to at some point leave a sour taste in terms of, who gets left behind. But just how committed and how valuable I think, of course, your son, Jared Smeltzer, and all the other young guys that are going to come away from this moment, not only for the drive to, hey, we don't want to only have 2 wins again, but also to take just the vast knowledge that these upperclassmen are going to give to them, not only on the court, but I think more importantly off the court, because, we don't really get to see everything that happens at practice or in the classroom. From all the reports that I've seen from over the years, you have to know this is probably one of the most special group of guys when it comes to the classroom and leadership aspect.
Yeah, and if I know these underclassmen, and I think I do, they're going to be motivated.
Yes.
This isn't going to sit well with them. They're going to work hard in the offseason. They don't want another season like this.
And it's funny to say they're going to work hard in the offseason because everybody's been probably working the hardest I've seen of you hate to say that guy like, they worked the hardest out of every 6 people might be with me, unfortunately. So no way you can get rid of the Dogs' season overall. Yes, they've only came away with 2 wins on the year, but I do. In other places, we're really continue on when they post game show.
Got it for 40 years. Don't let a little crack become a big problem. Call Larry's Glass at 532.
In a lawsuit, a little extra liability protection can go.
Great point. If operative, it's
College team is your team for life. Well, you can have a Farm Bureau agent for life.
and get a Farm Bureau agent for life.
Visit J. Engel in
The vehicle you've been waiting for. 10% veteran and military discount. Dine in, order online at merricksnp.com, use DoorDash, or call 532-8200 for carryout.
Welcome back, everybody, here to Columbus, the A3 District Boys Basketball first round as North Platte High School unfortunately falls to Columbus and the Discoverers 76-52 here in the fourth quarter. I wish to give you your State Farm game stats, brought to you in part by State Farm agent Bobby Campbell, but Jeff Smeltzer walked away with the North Platte High School stats, which is unfortunate. I believe, if I remember correctly, leading the way for North Platte High School, Caleb Odell with 17 points. Man, he was a menace from beyond the arc, 5 for 8 from the three-point line. Also had a nice field goal from inside the three-point line off of a good putback. So good to see Odell really getting into the action as, again, leading the way for the next wave of Bulldog basketball players. But you just can't. You hate to see how things unfortunately came to an end for North Platte High, and you wish it could have gone just a little bit better for the Dogs. But we'll see what they can do next year. Of course, super young teams, so many different things that they can do in the off season to just keep improving. And I think that's the highlight of what this team has shown this year is the ampleness in terms of just every day get better and better. And every day they did get better and better. Yes, it didn't reflect whether it be in the score sheet or in the record win column, but every single day they did get better and better, and that's all you can ask for. That's all you can ask for in sometimes these situations is every day they just continue to improve upon what they were last week and improve upon just getting better and better and better. Now, the question becomes, will head coach Jimmy Pack be making his way up here for the final time this season? I love Coach Pack, but in these final games, he sometimes just forgets that I exist. And it makes me, I don't want to say sad, just make me a little sad, though, that he forgets about me. You know, I care about Mr. Pack so much, and I give him all these beautiful presents and flowers. I don't give him presents or flowers, but, you know, I give him high fives and hugs. But it's going to be interesting to see how next year comes for not just North Platte High School boys, but also the girls. They're losing so many members of the team that has become just key figures for this basketball squad, boys and girls, throughout the last couple of years. So it's always going to be interesting to see how they're going to, I don't want to say bounce back, but how they going to evolve to that next stage of their tenure and really what they can do, because I think that's always the exciting part, just like the unknown of what's to come next year. Is here comes head coach Jimmy Pack. I'll say congratulations. He didn't forget about me like he did last year in Lincoln Pius, as I see him cracking a little smile, knowing that to call him out. Here is head coach Jimmy Pack. Coach, as always, it's good to see you here on our Quick Stop post game show. I want to say congratulations. I don't know if you heard me coming up. You have remembered me this year. Last year, you gave me the cold shoulder at Lincoln Pius, and I gave you the fist and I smiled it off. But fortunately, your season comes to an end here. But I have to say, even though the score sheet looks like a blowout, this was probably one of the funnest games, I think, and probably one of the better games your team has put together in certain aspects. I think more on the offensive side of things.
Yeah, we came out, struggled to take care of the ball a little bit, but they were missing some shots and things like that. Caleb Odell again came off the bench and does what Caleb Odell does. He gave us a huge boost with all those threes, that he was hitting. He was really, really feeling it there. A couple other guys, Eli Broman, came through and hit one for us. So we were getting up and down and we were pushing it. That's the way we wanted to play all year long. And, we told them, it doesn't matter. There's no tomorrow. So let's just go. And, yeah, it was fun. It's too bad. It's always tough when you come to the end of the year. But I'm proud of how hard the guys fought tonight.
And that was really the emphasis in terms of what me and Mr. Smeltzer were talking about was, while the record book may not be what you guys were looking for, there's one thing that was never put into question, and it was the effort, the hard work, the things that you don't get to see on the court that this team really did such a fantastic job with that. You just wish, it would result maybe and show the fruitions of that labor, because this is probably one of the hardest working teams that has come through North Platte, because they know that they don't want to go into the record books as only winning 2 games, because they know that they are better than that. And we've clearly seen it so many different times.
Well, like I told him, at the end of the day, there's only one team that gets to hold up that trophy, and everybody else, as much as we would like to think that our high school glory days meant something, if you didn't come home with the hardware, there ain't very many people that remember it. So, I felt, and I just what I said in the locker room, I felt like we were always right there. And maybe it's on me, the littlest thing I couldn't figure out for him, but it felt like there were so many little things. We were just right there. If that bounce, your woulda, coulda, shoulda, that bounce goes your way in this game, does that get you on a roll somewhere? Does that get their confidence going? Because I'm sure it is, as a teenager, to not have the uh-ohs, here we go again.
Yeah.
And you can even see that in the game. But they, for the most part, they do a good job of weathering the storm and fighting through it. And they, as I said all year long, they just got to figure out. We have to figure out how to get those 2-3 minutes where you can't worry about the oh no's. You can't worry about. You can't go into it thinking, what if we lose? You just got to get out there and lay it on the line.
And I think a huge reason and a huge positive as to how that's been able to, as each game goes down, get cut down less and less and less, has been the leadership, not only from what you instill, but also from this senior class. They came in as probably one of statistically the least experienced at the varsity level, but boy, they never showed it out there when it came to how they were able to help not only navigate this team, but also really just instill confidence into the younger guys. Because, of course, every coach would wish that, the freshmen and the sophomores can get the freshman to JV to varsity kind of stepping stones, so they can really get that nice experience. But just with how things transpired, they were thrusted into the fire pan right away. And not only did they were able to really take advantage of it and learn super quickly, but they also had the comfort of knowing that they had a really strong senior leadership to be like to rely on in moments where it's like, oh, I feel like I'm floundering out here, or I'm feeling like maybe I'm gonna say, I hate to say it, I'm the reason that they're losing, but the mindset of, oh my gosh, I'm the reason that we got this the 13-point run come against us.
Right. Sometimes in basketball, probably more than other sports, you're asked to do things that maybe you're not comfortable with doing. Eli came out tonight and, Jones was down, so Eli had to be the point guard. And that's something I don't know if he's ever done in his entire life. But we know with the lineup the way that it was, that's what was asked. And he looked at me and said, he didn't say, well, what if this or what if that? He didn't come up with an excuse. He did it. And, I truly believe that athletics and sports are a great tool to learn how to deal with life, as an educator, as a husband, as a father. Sometimes it might maybe be asked to do things that I really don't want to do, but they need done. So, and that's the beauty of basketball. It's the beauty of all athletics. We were without Easton tonight, moved in from Maxwell, had those knee issues, and he gave us a lot all year long. We surely would have loved to see him go out on the court. Big dish, big football guy. He got out there, did his football thing sometimes, and Zoe was great for us on defense. He did some great hustle plays tonight, some rebounding, and a lot of even those guys, sometimes are asked to do things that maybe they weren't capable of because they just hadn't been put in those roles growing up. So we knew coming in that our seniors were a little light, but we also knew that the work ethic was there and the dedication and all that kind of stuff. And as I always say to those guys at the end of it all, there's very few guys that make it all 4 years. You have 15 freshmen, and by the time they're seniors,
There might be 3 if
yeah,
you're lucky. Yeah.
we're down to 4. So, and that's not because it's because basketball is a hard sport to play. It's a hard sport to figure out. It's a lot of sacrifice, and that says a lot about those young men, their character, and their work ethic.
And that just shows really the path of growth this team has gone on. Because if you remember, I hate to say it, painfully early on, where you felt like they couldn't run the basic of offensive set, and there were some games where most of the first 20 seconds was getting things set up. And now, of course, with Easton Jones going down with that knee injury a couple weeks ago, felt like the offense went out without a hitch. It's almost like he was out there on the court himself still playing. And I think that just shows, and you talk about that hard work finally coming to in probably the most important game of the season, it all finally coming to click together, and at least can make you go into the offseason thinking like, okay, we made that good positive set that you can maybe continue to build on into the next winter season, because by golly, it'll be here before you know it.
Oh yeah, it always does. We'll be playing. We'll be playing in the summer. I'm sure we'll be doing stuff in the spring. We have our summer season and all that, and it is very encouraging to see those guys. Like you said, I don't even know if I was worried without Easton. I felt bad for Easton, but I don't. I had full faith and confidence in what these other guys could step up and do, and you know what, like you said, once you've got the basics of it down and you're trying to teach a bunch of sophomores who are not used to playing at that level, and some of them, like Jake Kincaid, like I said, my wife had to remind me one time he's only played 12 high school
Yeah,
games in his life,
yeah.
and I'm out here, wanting him to be the next LeBron or whatever. So there's a tremendous amount of opportunity, and hopefully those guys realize the speed of the game and how hard that you have to go. And that's why I just told him I know sometimes I can be difficult, and I know that I can push really hard, and that's because I know how hard they need to go. And I challenged him yesterday in practice. Do you want to be the best player in this gym? Do you want to be better than your buddy? Do you want to just start so that your buddy doesn't start? Or are you watching what the other players in the state are doing? Because that's a whole other level. And we're at the top of that level, and we have to learn how to compete at that level. And that's my expectations, and that's our goal.
And you can, again, I think the younger fellas really took that to heart throughout the entire season because they always put the work in. I don't think there's anybody even at the furthest end of the bench that maybe got 2 or 3 games not put the work in every single day, and they were rewarded throughout the season. And even in this game, you can see that they weren't afraid of the moments. The spotlights weren't too big. They felt in control, and they felt that they can run the offense through. Of course, Caleb Odell being the main trigger of that, but Jarrett Smeltzer really coming in, providing good minutes. Sam Euling, Logan Hayes being thrust into the starting lineup for the second half of the season based off of how good he was playing, and if you've shown that you are rewarded for that effort you put in, and guys were able to see that, and guys were able to continue that expansion here to this point, and then hopefully into the off season into next season as well.
Yeah, we hope so, and I'm sure it's always tough. Sometimes you get out there and you do all the things all the other guys don't, or all the other guys do, and they're getting to play under the bright lights or not. But we have JV games, we have reserve games, and if you watch those games, you'll see the same thing you see in the varsity game. And those guys you just talked about, your Logans, your Jakes, Logan stepped up last year. Both of them were pulled up as freshmen. Jake got hurt right away. Logan stepped in and was our leading scorer in JV. I think his second game out of the gate, and I think he was our leading scorer a couple times this year off the bench. So he earned his starting spot. He figured some things out defensively. Even finishing, he was kind of not used to that kind of contact and that kind of speed. But I thought the last 2 or 3 weeks of the season, I probably had to remind him a very certain way in practice, but he figured things out, and that was encouraging to see those guys. Your Jarrett, had full confidence that Jarrett could run the point position. I told him I'm very hard on the point guard. They're basically the quarterback, and I asked him if he could handle that, and he said that he could, and I thought that he did. I really loved the way that he got up and pressured the ball defensively all season long. And as he keeps working, as they all keep working on things like their shot and their ball handling and their decision making, a lot of that stuff just comes with playing basketball.
Yeah,
Those
yeah.
things you can't teach. You just have to do it over and over from playing.
And you make me sit and say the same thing because I sit here and I go through the list of games. I'm like, yeah, they've only played. Some of them. This is their first not even full season, but some of them still have so many games they still have to get under your belt, and that just goes to show how important sometimes JV and the freshman program is. You may be put at freshman or JV. It's not because they are forcing you down there because you're just not so good. It's because that's a place for you to really expand, evolve, and just get a little taste of what the varsity level is. So when you do get called up, we saw Evan McCuskey, in the latter half when he got called up, look much more comfortable in the beginning because he was getting some good action in during the JV games, and some of those other guys that once they do get that call up, all this hard work that I've been doing actually does pay off because it makes me a better player going into these games.
For sure. Something Coach Matt Kaminsky told me years ago when I was the freshman coach, and I was just as guilty as the players. I wanted to be moved up a little bit higher, and I'll never forget he told me the freshman level is probably the most important point.
Start the process of getting has been go through drills. Do they take that part as seriously as they take the actual?
Sure, and that's something that we have to remember too. Not that North Platte and I feel like
South game in these are hurting.
Yourself. We're gonna talking and why is a whole other freshman group that's pretty deep as well. Plans state of Nebraska. I think we got I want to thank all the players for. I always texted me the other night asking, "Is this kind of the Dogs are going into districts?" And he said he shoots the text. So it means a lot to these guys, and it's stuff that stays with you for a lifetime. So
I will be here before you know it. I can't believe it. Head coach Jimmy Pack, North Platte High School Bulldogs, as we'll wrap up this season here. Dogs, unfortunately, having their season come to an end, but I think, as Coach Pack described, can hang your head proud of how this team performed in terms of they just, no matter what, no matter how bad the previous game was or the previous week was, or even the previous couple of weeks, during some of those losing streaks. Because yes, before you know it, basketball will be back upon us. That's just how quick it goes through. I'll see you all tomorrow at 3 o'clock, 2:50 Central Time for North Platte Community College Women's Basketball Championship match in the Region 9. I can't believe it. That's right, Region 9 Championship game tomorrow for the women at 2:50 for our quick stop pregame and tip-off at 3 o'clock live on FM 98.1, AM 1410 and live streaming on the Knights Athletics page. I'll see you all tomorrow for more basketball.
Get ready, North Platte. Brigham's Tap Room has a brand new menu you do not want to miss. Catch all of the action on game day with your favorite teams. The Huskers, the North Platte Bulldogs, and the St. Pat's Irish on their big screens. Pair the excitement with our amazing drinks, and you've got the ultimate game day experience. Don't forget to enjoy axe throwing with your friends. Brigham's Tap Room, where great food, great drinks, and great times come together. Brigham's Tap Room, 1100 South Jefferson Street, North Platte.